Hello, how you doing? I decided I'm going to take this week's video at home. So today's topic is going to involve astronomy specifically related to the geocentric model of the solar system. And as long as I'm here, I'm going to show you a couple of things. First off, there is my tortoise, or my family's tortoise, Bebop. Over here is one of my dogs named Bogey. Bogey is a 6-month-old Great Dane. My other dog, coming over here, is Juno. Juno's about a 6-year-old boxer pit bull mix. Hi, Juno. She came over to say hi. And my cat. And Dalen is over there, but he doesn't want to be in the video. Now over here, I want to talk about the geocentric model of the solar system. This is a model of the solar system that was developed about over 2,000 years ago. And they said, the geocentric model of the solar system said that the Earth was the center of the solar system. And like I said, they called it geocentric. Why they believe the Earth was the center of the solar system and that everything went around the Earth, that the moon went around the Earth, Mercury, Venus, the sun went around the Earth, is simply that it fit their observations. When they looked up at the sky, they saw the sun rise in the east, move across the sky, set in the west. They saw the moon rise in the east, set in the west. All of the stars, all of the planets, all rose in the east and set in the west. And so they said when they saw these objects move across the sky, I think they made the logical assumption that they were moving around the Earth. This was a model that sometimes is called the Ptolemy model, and it existed for a few thousand years. It first started getting questioned by someone in the 1500s, a Polish astronomer by the name of Copernicus. And then finally got, I wouldn't say proven, but a lot of evidence was found by Galileo in the 1600s. But like I said, for a long time they believed the Earth was the center and that everything went around. No one felt the Earth moving. And there was some other evidence that we're going to talk about in class. One of the things they believed was that not only did everything go around the Earth, including the planets, but the stars went around the Earth as well. But they had a different idea about what the stars were. Shh. They thought the stars. Well, we have to go back and take a look at what they could observe. All they could see was the stars were points of light in the sky. And when they saw these points of light in the sky, they looked at their environment and saw if there was anything in the environment that looked like these points of light. Now, what they did see was they saw, when they would walk around at nighttime, and if they would go visit their friend down the way, and if their friend had a fire going on in their house, and if their friend's walls weren't entirely tight, there would be little cracks, little holes in the walls, and there's a fire going on, there's light inside, and they would see the light coming through the cracks in the holes, the cracks in the walls. Oops. Make sure you can see that. There we go. And it would look like stars. And so they said, if holes in a wall could look like stars, then maybe the stars that we see in the sky, maybe they're just holes in some giant wall. And then they had to think to themselves, well, what was behind that wall? And they said, well, there has to be some big bright light that was behind that wall. And at some point, someone said, well, what could that bright light be behind the wall that's lighting up all the stars? And the answer was they thought heaven was behind the wall, that the stars were just light coming from what they said was God. And that's what they thought the stars were. We know the stars are just suns, like our own sun, that's very far away. But they didn't think that. And then when they looked at the stars, they saw some of the stars made shapes, and those shapes they called them constellations, and they made stories about those shapes. As time went on, their model of the solar system had to get more and more complicated to fit their observations. They saw the planets doing weird things in the sky over the months that they were observing it, and they developed some very complicated mechanical models where they would put Earth in the center, and they'd put all the planets, and then they could crank it, and it would make a mechanical model that would help explain the planets and their motions. They were very concerned about that. And that is the geocentric model. And in class, we're going to spend time talking about and looking at some of the evidence that ancient people used in order to first prove that the geocentric model was true, and finally, with Galileo, to prove that the geocentric model was not true. That's all for today. Go ahead and, if you have any questions, see if you can post them on in this YouTube video, and I'm going to see if I can look at the questions and answer some of them. And then, I also want you to make sure that you, in your notes, and the capture sheet that I pass out to you, that you write down the model, the geocentric model. Just make a sketch of it in your notebook. All right, have a good day, and I'll see you in class.